What's my favorite thing about whiskey? I'm often asked what I enjoy about whiskey, or what's my favorite bottle, or what got me started into being a whiskey enthusiast. But to answer the question, what's my favorite thing about whiskey, is actually a lot easier than what is my favorite whiskey. In tonight's episode, Derrick goes into how a bottle of Crown Royal brings him back to his early life, as it was common for his family to put a bottle of Crown Royal in a freezer. So whenever now, moving forward in life, he sees a bottle of Crown Royal, it instantly brings back positive memories of family, cousins, aunts, uncles, and things. And that's my favorite thing about whiskey, is every bottle is meant to be shared in a moment with somebody that you want to share it with. And you remember those experiences, and you remember where you were and the times you had. And for Derrick, it was a bottle of Crown Royal. For me, it's many bottles, but it's also a bottle of Crown Royal, just a different Crown Royal. This is Crown Royal XR. They stopped producing this probably about 5 years ago. It was a somewhat rare bottle, about $130, $150, 2019, 2017 time frame. But what I love about this bottle is this bottle was our staple birthday bottle. When any of us close friends had a birthday, the other ones were pitching in for this bottle for their birthday. And it probably went on for quite a few years. I would get one for my birthday. Somebody else would get one for their birthday. So when I drink this, that's where that takes me, to each and one of those moments that this bottle was dedicated for birthdays of some of my good friends. And that memory's never going to leave. Now, this is all I have of this bottle, so unfortunately the juice will eventually go. I'm actually going to keep the bottle itself, even when it is empty. But that's my favorite thing about whiskey, is the memories that it creates, and the joys, and the sharing. So I'm going to take a toast to all the good memories that I've had with this bottle, and all the birthdays shared, and to all the future birthdays there is. But once you enjoy tonight's episode, Derrick's going to pour me some classic Crown Royal. And I couldn't tell you the last time I had Crown Royal. And it wasn't what I recalled. We'll see if I like it, and we'll see if I know what I was drinking. Cheers. This is really good Crown Royal. Enjoy.
Welcome back. Tonight, we're going to go to Canada. I'm going to go with Crown Royal, classic Canadian whiskey. It comes in this very signature purple bag. Crown Royal is a blended whiskey, and it was originally created in 1939 because King George from England was coming to visit, and they wanted to make a special whiskey just for him. This is the first whiskey I've ever had. I can't remember exactly how old I was. I'm sure I wasn't of age. But my best friend's dad used to give this out to the people that he worked with at Christmas time. And there was always too many bottles around to keep count of. So we'd sneak one off like every Christmas, the boys, and enjoy it. And where I grew up in northern Maine, this was commonly to be found in many people's freezers. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing about the state of the whiskey, but a lot of people would have it available for shots. They considered it the good stuff. I haven't had it in a long time. We'll see what happens here.
Well, hey.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. What's going on?
This might be the first time I didn't spill anything.
Wow. Progress
win.
is being made. So, yeah, how's things?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're going back to my youth here with this one.
Oh.
That's your hint.
This Jager? You Jagerbombs or anything like that?
Jaeger was one of the things that was given to me on my 21st birthday. My stomach did not appreciate
No?
it. Not at all, no.
I was always a Goldschlager guy.
Oh, yeah.
Sure going.
Cinnamon schnapps, no problem.
Yeah.
Or peppermint schnapps, no problem.
You ever done peppermint schnapps and then drizzle the Hershey syrup right in your mouth and fish it up? It's just it's a York peppermint patty.
We did not do that in college, but there was something called a Stumblefuck.
Oh.
It was Rumplemints, 151, and Jägermeister.
Oh, that sounds divine.
And they served it to me in like a 4-ounce glass.
Yeah.
Down the hatch and then right back out.
Good times. So this is taking you back to your roots, huh?
Yep.
Okay. I got a feeling you're gonna throw me a curveball today.
Yeah, this one is you either gonna get it or you're gonna get right on it or you're gonna be all over the place.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's give it a nose. Let's see how we fare today. Well, a lot of classic American notes. A little bit more vanilla than caramel.
It's pretty subtle.
It is pretty subtle. Not as bland as a couple of the other ones we've had, but
It's a spectrum.
I'm getting a little spice on the nose. I'm not quite sure if I want to call it cinnamon or not, but I mean a little bit. It does have like a little winter vibe.
That makes sense.
All right, let's down the hatch this. Very light, very pleasant.
Yeah.
A little bit more. The caramel comes back a little bit, but a light variation of caramel. Vanilla for sure.
I get the vanilla. They call it butterscotch.
They call it butter. Okay. Yeah.
Smooth.
I'm not sure. I probably could have gotten the butterscotch, but very thin.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's going to sound like an oxymoron, but it dissipates quickly, but it doesn't dissipate quickly. Because it's thin, it checks out.
Yeah.
It still has a little bit of lingering on the.
I feel like it still lingers a little. Yeah. Even though the what I call viscosity is low.
It's gone. It's gone.
It's it zips right down the back of the throat, but the flavor still stays for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't put this up like really high on the flavor profile scale, but it's sweet, it's pleasant, easy drinking.
Easy drinking. Yeah. This has got a softer bourbon side to me.
What does that mean? Explain that.
Well, I guess for me, it's caramel and it's vanilla with a little bit of spice, and that's just kind of the general mold of bourbon. It's not. It doesn't hit harsh.
No.
So for example, it's not a Knob Creek.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I am sticking in the bourbon lane, I'm thinking now of things. It's got a much more approachable palate.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess
So good, bad, it's indifferent. What do you think?
It's good, but I think it's good for those who want an easier side of whiskey.
Sure.
And a lot of bourbon guys, particularly, more and more now, they're looking for that proof. They want that, punch in the face a little bit more.
So that's a good lead in.
Yeah.
What do we think here?
So as far as proof, this is light.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean 80.
Okay.
Yeah. Baseline.
Yep.
I'm gonna stay with it's probably not even age stated. I'm gonna stick in the under 50, probably a $40 bottle. It's got good flavor profile, but it doesn't scream exquisite by any means. Again, approachable for sure. Easy drinking, entry level. Pretty flat on my score. Probably 7 across the board.
7.
Yeah.
You got one of those in the past.
Yeah. I mean, it follows through. The nose and the palate and the finish, they don't stray from each other. They all follow through.
So nothing, from my point of view at least, nothing that you would go seek.
Yeah.
But not necessarily anything you would necessarily turn your nose up at either.
So if you were poured it, you'd be fine with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wouldn't necessarily be adding it to the shelf.
Okay.
Well, that was my interpretation of your opinion, not my opinion.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's also my opinion, but I want to kind of, that's what you were getting.
I'll take ownership of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have no problem drinking, a couple of glasses of this without any issue.
Got a guess or a comp you want to throw out there?
I'm thinking something on the lighter bourbon side. So I guess my only comp really would probably be something in like the Basil Hayden lane. That would be my comp.
Okay. You want to see it?
Sure.
All right. So, technically not bourbon because it's from Canada.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of the rest of the things are on point.
You had a rough life, young one, didn't you?
No age statement. It's blended.
Yep.
It's only $25.
Okay. Yeah, that's Crown.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this was the good stuff where I grew up.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know that I've had the original in a really long time, but nothing wrong with it. I thought it was decent.
Yeah. Again, it's you've put me a few things that are drinking better than I would have thought they would.
Sure.
Yeah. So
They don't tell me enough of
like I said, what is the mash bill of? I assume it's high rye at least.
It doesn't say.
Yeah. I mean,
and it's blended, so it could be a bunch of stuff.
So yeah, layered flavors of vanilla, oak, butterscotch, cloves, and nutmeg. So there's my cinnamon that I couldn't quite put as cinnamon.
But I don't get a lot of rye. I mean, there's probably some rye in it, but I don't get a lot of that cinnamon or that really spiciness that I get from rye.
No, not at all. No, this is subtle all the way across the board.
The way you described it, I'm like, all right, we need to give this to Chad blind.
Yes.
And see how he comes back with.
Yes. That's a great story. That day we did that with Jameson. Swore up and down. He wouldn't drink Jameson. Give him Jameson blind. He goes, this isn't bad. You're drinking Jameson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of that. Like, if you don't know what it is, you don't have preconceived notions of what you're having, you can just kind of appreciate for what it is. Sometimes some things get some stigma that is, they're not as bad as people say they are.
So, and you're right. I mean, I don't, this is not something I would obviously drink on a regular basis, and some of the things you poured may or may not be as well. But it's not because they're awful. Obviously, I think we've proved that.
Yeah.
They're not awful.
But actually, the limited times we have to enjoy something, we usually pick something different.
So I'm going to go a step further than that. There's the characteristics are just too subtle. They're too light.
Yep.
So they're not really speaking to us other than it's decent. It's not bad. Yeah, you pour me another one. I got no problem drinking this.
Yep.
But it's more lackluster on character overall.
Yeah, so anything in the 7 is like, it's fine.
Yeah.
But it's not like, it's not telling a story. It's not bringing me an experience that I haven't had before, which is, so we had one of the previous ones, we tried something we hadn't had before, and we both really liked it. Those are the experiences that I'm going after.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I walk up and down the aisles of the liquor store, trying to find something to share with my friends that we haven't had before.
Right.
And the more we do it, the harder that hunt becomes.
No question.
But it's always very satisfying when you hit one that you really like.
And then it's unsatisfying to hear you can't buy it anymore.
Yes. This was a limited release.
Yes. Yeah.
You had your chance.
You had your chance, yeah. But no, this is you put a couple of these for me now, that I would all group together a little bit in terms of entry level.
Yeah, and that was part of it.
Unoffensive.
I want this
unoffensive.
Yeah, this first kind of profile to be things that people can get their hands on readily available. To start with, just so we don't, all right, we tell them all about the stuff that they can't have. Essentially,
right?
Let's start with at least some things that people could get their hands on.
Well, it's been a little enlightening for me because, although will I go to you know, my next drink I pour, we're like, oh, I gotta have that Crown Royal now. But it's been enlightening in the sense that it's better than a stigma. You can drink this straight. You don't necessarily. Everybody wants to use it as a mixer, which is fine. It's a great mixer, but it's also fine on its own.
Some of the places we go for vacation, you know, it's all inclusive. So what they carry for alcohol sometimes isn't the best. Sometimes this is the best I can get for like an after dinner cocktail. That's fine.
Yeah, I would have thought it would have been spicier. If you had asked me, what do you think Crown Royal tastes like?
Yeah.
And Christ, I couldn't tell you the last time I've had.
I might have been like 20 something years.
Yeah,
since
seriously.
last-
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't know what Crown I wouldn't really taste like until now, but I would have just assumed hotter, spicier, more grain potent, I suppose. And it's really not that at all. So, all right, win for you.
No, that's kind of a toss up. You got a lot of the features.
The nondescripts, the subtles,
It's harder to.
they're just they tend to group together, and they're harder to pick apart a little bit. But this was good. Enjoyed.
All right.
Catch you next time.
Do it again next week.